WTFemale here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Alice, Madness Returns. Madness Returns was developed by Spicy Horse and released in 2011. It's a sequel to the 2000 game American McGee's Alice. It's classified as a psychological horror video game, which I can totally see. Alice basically spends the game trying to keep the memories that she has, and to regain the ones that she doesn't. Some of those memories are plain and easy to find, while others are more buried and harder to find. New things also come to light in this new game. The graphics in the beginning are actually pretty good. When someone is speaking as if being interviewed, the graphics are as if you're watching a paper doll puppet show, and it is well thought out, which is cool. And the use of colors and varying camera angles makes for an interesting design. Some of the images as you walk around are kind of disturbing, like the dead fish in the boys' room. But the worlds are very well thought out, and the design is not only very creative, but lends to that creepy feeling that the rest of the game is pretty well known for. Wait, is that the spiral hill from Nightmare Before Christmas? Well, this isn't your Disney's Alice, kids. Alice is a disturbed young girl who is going through therapy with Dr. Angus Bumby because when she was little, she blamed herself for the fire that killed her family. Then there's the grinning, zombie, hellish tattoo Cheshire, which actually I prefer to the Disney's version, since not only is it much cooler looking, it's actually a heck of a lot more helpful. He gives you little hints at the trouble that Alice will be experiencing and then disappears with a grin, just as he always does. Why is the Mad Hatter mechanical? Did something happen that I'm not aware of? Though, I guess it makes sense to the world, and makes about as much sense as why the field mouse has a wheelchair set up. Although I like the Scottish accent for the hair. Suits him nicely. The Red Queen has an awesome design, though. Though at first, you kind of mistake her for a more proper demonic Alice. But actually, you find out it's not. It's actually Alice's sister, Lizzie. Wait, she eats you? Oh, that could be taken into so much wrong. Even vor fetishes are like, what the fuck? Ugh. Now, there is an excellent use of foreshadowing in the beginning of the game, when the doctor is trying to put Alice at ease through hypnotherapy, or something. That teacup spider thing that scuttles across the table, then there's the fish, and the cards. It also showcases an excellent use of looking into the mind of a young girl who is battling with insanity between a girl and a woman. I feel I should put the Britney songs here.
Yeah, not even maybe.
Those words seriously need to be bigger, though. I'm looking on a small screen, and my eyesight is terrible already. I don't need to be looking at tiny, minuscule little words. Just saying. What kind of sick stuff have they got going on here? I mean, the kid that comes in after Alice's therapy session? Your paw was hung for killing your ma who beat you? What? As you go through the orphanage, or the doctor's office, or wherever you are, you see little kids littering the halls, and they provide snarky comments and some rather depressing quotes that should not be coming out of 5-year-olds. You also notice that some of them have numbers on their torsos, like signs hung over their heads. This is kind of hinted later on to as why that is happening through the ruined doctor. You go out the door and why does the kid who has the number 8 sign have a head shaped like the number 8? Then you follow the cat. A white cat? Not the rabbit? After that pussy! I mean cat. Cat. You're cornered by these bug creatures that sound like boars with the body of humans. I don't exactly get what this has to do with anything, but I guess it's going through the insanity of a girl, so they can throw in whatever the hell they want. After falling into the cracked world below, you fall into the rabbit hole. And we're kind of reminded of Tim Burton's Alice, as she sees the clocks, the gears, the furniture. And then it goes beyond Tim Burton crazy. You see doll heads and machinery and piping and just ooze of black, and it's disturbing. Then she awesomely goes into a costume change, into the dress that we all No. Well, okay, it's a cooler version of it. Kind of gothy looking. These costume changes happen frequently throughout the game. However, they're not as fantastic as the first one. More like you just suddenly appear in the dress. The underwater one is one of my favorites, as is the steampunk and the Red Queen. The dollhouse, not so much. You kind of look like something Raggedy Ann wore, or that the Sixth Doctor wears. Wonderland is much as we would expect it to be. Wonderful and rather goofy looking. When you jump from one rock to another more than once, butterflies and smoke and leaves poof from what looks like your dress, but for all we know, you could be farting to keep yourself up. We don't know. The dodging is kind of cool. It's got the smoke and the butterflies. Now, the teeth is your currency for this game, and it is used to upgrade your weapons and help them evolve. In the beginning, you partake in the potion that shrinks you down. And throughout the rest of the game, you can become small at any time, which helps you find hidden paths and other things that are needed to proceed or find memories and other nice goodies. Now, I love that they keep the Jabberwocky there. And when the Vorpal blade is taken from its skeleton, it nearly becomes dust in the wind. The weapons in this are pretty cool, too. I'm not a fan of a few of them, such as the pepper grinder due to its frickin' overheating, which drives me nuts, and the teapot, which can take forever to shoot depending on what's around you. But the Vorpal blade and the hobby horse, as they upgrade, get more and more kick-ass, and they're my favorite weapons to use. I'm glad that they also kind of give you a shield in the form of an umbrella, but, you know, it's still cool. And you can dodge quite nicely with it, too. Speaking of the pepper grinder, the idea of the pig snouts is kind of cool, too. They're hidden, and it's something you can spend your time looking for in the next game you play, since once you beat the game, you can't restart the game without all your weapons and upgrades and the stuff you got from the game already. You can't actually start from scratch. You have to start over with all your weapons and upgrades, which kind of takes some of the fun out of the game. What's up with big-nosed characters in this? I mean, seriously, did the artists have a thing for big noses and heads? Moving on. I like the burning door that leads Alice through that night, and she's trying to figure out exactly what happened, going through it in her head step by step. And each time she goes through a door, she remembers a little bit more about that night, and whether she had actually killed her family, or if something else happened. The door also leads her to other worlds as a transition, but what's with the key on the rings? I mean, I guess maybe it's things clicking together or something? I don't know. The Mad Hatter's place is amazing. I applaud the creators of this place. Even from far away, the design of it is so cool and foreboding. It's mechanical, it's got the teapot and the tea kettle, same thing, I meant teacups, whatever. And it's just a really cool concept. I hate the air valves in this place. They're annoying, and quite frankly, I can do without. I keep falling to my death. Although you can get an achievement for staying on them for 7 minutes. What? When you go further into the Mad Hatter's domain, after talking with the Mad Hatter, you start to hear this annoying, higher-toned whining kind of voice that's giving instructions to the workers. And some of the instructions are kind of ridiculous. Is this your way of a pep talk? Now, I haven't played the first game yet, so I'm quite confused as to why the Hare and the Hatter and the Field Mouse are suddenly not getting along with each other. Couldn't they hint at that in the second game just a little? The Hysteria mode is quite cool. Your world goes colorless like a Charlie Chaplin film, except for the streams of blood that go everywhere as you cut into your enemies. It starts with a scream, and everything just goes slow, and suddenly you become super strong. It's really cool. Then we come to the captain. Captain? I trust Orlando Bloom to be a captain of a ship before I ever trusted this guy. And for good reason. He actually used to be a train conductor, but was bagged and had to find something else to do. So he became a captain of a ship. Then you come to the underwater city, and you have to run some errands for the director of the play. Along the way, you have to fight ghosts, which are an annoying pain in the arse, and complete puzzles, which are actually kind of fun and make this game not entirely just run to your next destination and whatnot. It's kind of like a mystery. You fill in the blanks as you go, I've noticed. Once you finish all that, you have to deal with the play. And I was...
Now, through this entire play, he talks about death and how death is a normal thing throughout our lives, and at least I don't know. I guess that's what he's talking about. Disease, drowned, murdered, whatever. And then basically he eats them. Yeah. Eats them.
Who would... Why would you... What is... Ugh. Now jumping ahead. Sorry, I gotta shorten this up a little bit. Most of the important stuff is in the beginning and the end, so jumping ahead. We find ninja bugs. Really? We come to an oriental world and you gotta have ninja samurai bugs? And they're wasps, too. Now, there's chances to jump into scrolls. And that is actually kind of cool, because it's Mario meets Oriental in some fucked up way. But it's still, cool. Now, jump ahead again. We come to the world of the cards in the sky, which is kind of annoying. You can't tell whether you're going to fall to your doom or if a card is going to fly in just before you step on it, and it makes for very hazardous traveling. But once the card and the sky are done, you find yourself at the castle of the Red Queen. Prepare for a lot of running. Oh, God. Chess. I suck at chess. Next we go to the asylum, which is so creepy and reminds me of Grave Encounters. It's a scary horror movie. Go watch it. It's really good. The asylum is beyond creepy and gives you the feeling that the building is actually your head that you're walking around in. Kind of lends to new perspective. Who the hell lets a crazy person wander the halls like that? In some spots, the rooms change as if inside her skull, which is neat in concept, and they pull it off so that it's only slightly noticeable if you're paying attention, but doesn't differ from the rest of what's happening throughout the game. Then you see Tweedledee and Tweedledum, which aren't that creepy in the characters themselves aside from their white eyes. It's what they're doing that's the creepy part. The next world makes every doll-fearing person scream and hide in the blankets and piss themselves. It's a dollhouse with dolls everywhere.
Chuck even makes a cameo.
Wait. The doctor is the bad guy? Well, I guess that makes sense. What is he doing to those babies? It turns out that the doctor was making children forget, because then they are more willing to follow his instruction. Once they've forgotten, he makes them prostitute themselves. We also find out that he wanted Lizzie, but Lizzie refused him. So, he raped her that night, killed her, then burned down the house to hide the crime. Smart thinking. Too bad Alice made it out. Good thing she thought it was her fault and went insane. Good job, Doc. Now, I don't like the hype that they give the train throughout the entire game. In the end, it was rather short and a slight letdown. You go through the train as you're talking to the doctor in the real world. And you talk to some of the characters. They give you a little bit more hinting into what's going on. And then you talk to the ruined doctor in the end. That's it. Oh, and you fight the ruined doctor, but he's easy to beat. So, one of my favorite parts is when Alice turns from her psycho self into the real world, into Wonderland Alice, and stands up against the doctor and pushes him into an oncoming train. However, at this point, we question whether she had actually killed him, or if she had forgotten, just as he had wanted her to do. We question this because as she leaves the train station, Wonderland is back to its normal, whimsical self. There's also a hint that there may be another game to be released, and hopefully that isn't counting the one that's already been on the phone. That's more like an interactive storybook. Now, the enemies, such as the Ruin, are an interesting concept. The Ruin are basically blobs that have no actual real form except for the baby doll face and some piping on its back. It's as if it's an industrial creature in a world of nothing industrial. I kind of feel like that's a Fern Gully reference. In fact, I'm pretty sure there is a blob creature in Fern Gully. Or is it Smoke? I can't remember. Upon further research from the Cynic, actually he has a human form, it's oil. But you get my drift. Whatever. Now the guys that are wearing the teacup set and has the shield, I hate those things. They're annoying. Not as annoying as the spider teacup things, though, which are a pain in the arse. They're like a freaking teapot from hell. The pepper grinder comes in handy with them until you receive the hobby horse, which is way later, after the teacup spiders are gone. Now, the card guards are an amazing concept. In fact, I want one tattooed on me somewhere. Maybe I'll add it into my geek tattoo that I'm designing. That'll be epic. Though their revival thing is really annoying, especially when there's a lot of them. Then there's the epic of all epicness, the Card Guard Reaper. He is like badass, had drunken sex with a demon from hell, and even hell said no to it, kicked it through the river of Styx, and it landed here. Just saying, that's how amazing it is. The doll enemies in the dollhouse world are beyond scary for anyone who is scared of dolls and has seen Chucky. I haven't seen Chucky, but they still scare me. Horror is a whole new level in this game. Let's combine multiple phobias into one game, guys. That sounds like a fabulous idea. Good job, you pulled it off. Thank you for watching Madness Returns Review with What the Female. You can find me on Facebook, or you can find me on Google+. You can also find me in Flipside Reviews with my partner, the Cynic. So go and find him, because actually he does some awesome reviews, and he's quite entertaining.
Where the fuck is my shirt?
I don't know.
My hat.
No idea.
Female, you fucking with my shit again?
No.